everyone, I hope y'all are having a great day, and today I'm bringing you a huge book haul. Part of it is super belated, but better late than never, right? Also, I'm recovering from a cold cough thing, and it's difficult to speak a complete sentence without bursting into disgusting coughs. But I couldn't wait any longer to film this because I finally have time. But yeah, let's get into the books. Woo! Woo! Ooh, okay. For those who don't know, I went to London over the summer and I actually filmed this really long, extensive vlog about my trip there, what I did each day, and I was editing it, but it was so much footage, it took forever to edit, I just gave up on it. And I also filmed a London book haul, but I didn't want to upload that until after I uploaded my vlog, but since I never ended up uploading the vlog, I never ended up uploading the book haul. I'll just do it now, even though it's been 6 months since I bought these books. Yikes. So the first books I bought once I got into London were the Mistborn books by Brandon Sanderson. The first book is The Final Empire, the second book is The Well of Ascension, and the third book is The Hero of Ages. Maybe these books look familiar to you. I do have reviews for The Final Empire and The Well of Ascension up. I might link them below if I'm not lazy. These books are fantastic. I can't recommend them enough. BookTube can't recommend them enough because everyone loves these books. I'm currently reading the last book in the trilogy, The Hero of Ages, and I haven't been able to touch it much since school started after winter break, but I hope to finish it before I die. At this rate, I can probably finish this by the time I turn 27. So that's exciting. But honestly, if you haven't read these books, pick them up. Please, please, they're so good. They're fantasy, they're about people who can swallow metals and extract powers by burning those metals inside their bodies, and it's just so freaking crazy and awesome. His world building, his mythology, his characters, everything is fantastic. And if you're gonna buy these books, I do recommend the UK books, because they're beautiful. Just take a second to admire how beautiful these books are. I think the first one is the prettiest because after the first one they start putting faces on the covers and I'm like, why? Why'd you do that? Why? I also visited Oxford and there was this bookstore called like Blackwell's or something like that, and they were having this deal where you could buy 3 books for the price of 2, and I saw 2 books that I really wanted, so I got them. Even though I really wanted this in hardcover, whatever, I got it in paperback in the UK form. And that is The Goldfinch by Donna Tartt. I first heard about this from Liz Loves Literature. I also know that Max from Well Done Books really loved this, and you know, it won the Pulitzer for 2014. It has a pretty good reputation. And then I also picked up The Luminaries by Eleanor Catton, and I also heard about this from Liz Loves Literature. So influential. And again, I think I prefer the hardcover version of this, but whatever. Oh, and by the way, The Luminaries, in case you didn't know, won the Man Booker Prize in 2013. So I got these 2 books basically because of Liz. I needed a 3rd book to get the 3 for 2 deal, so I picked up this one. It's called Thinking, Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman. This is a nonfiction. The author actually won the Nobel Prize for Economics back in like 2002. And the premise of this book is that as humans, when we're thinking about problems, we approach things in 2 different ways, in 2 different systems. One of them is really instinctual. It's really fast. It's based off emotion and how instantly we can recollect information in our minds. And then the second one is a slower thinking system where we actually analyze and think about things critically, that kind of thing. And it sounded really interesting, so I got it. So this stack of beautiful books would have been my London book haul. And then in November I visited New York because I had a piano recital there, and I finally went to the Strand for the first time in my life. Well, I had a budget. I wanted to keep it under like $40 or $50 or something, but then when I got to the register, the guy was like, well, if you only buy like $3 more worth of stuff, then you get a free tote bag. And I was like, I see what you're doing there, and I'm gonna fall for it. I really want a tote bag. So at the Strand, I didn't buy any young adult books. I wanted to explore more of like the classics and the literary fiction. So I ended up getting The Color Purple by Alice Walker. This is like a classic. It won the Pulitzer and the National Book Award, and I kind of only got this because it was only $6. Holla! I hope to get to this book really soon because, you know, it's one of those books with lots of significance and historical context, and it just sounds really interesting. I also got The Brief Wondrous Life of Oscar Wilde. This is also a winner of the Pulitzer. This is also kind of like a modern classic. I hear it's really interesting, so I had to get it. And I also, for some reason, really like this cover. This next book is by an author that I've been wanting to check out for so long now, and it's Too Much Happiness by Alice Munro. This is a collection of some of Alice Munro's short stories. She's really popular for her short stories, in case you didn't know. Alice Munro won the Nobel Prize for Literature, which is super impressive, and I've only read the first short story in this collection. It's called Dimensions, and it was really weird. It definitely wasn't what I was expecting. But I'm excited to read the rest of this. And the next book has one of the most beautiful covers I've ever seen in my entire life, and it is The Beautiful and the Damned by F. Scott Fitzgerald. I've only read one Fitzgerald book, The Great Gatsby. I read it in freshman year for fun, and then I had to read it again this year for school. I love the book. It's gorgeous. It's just so full of literary depth. It's crazy. You could analyze every word for pages. But anyway, I want you to take a good long look at this gorgeous book. Look at that. And look at this spine. It is just beautiful. So these books would have been my New York book haul. I also got a couple of books for Christmas. One of my friends asked me what I wanted. I gave her a list of books and she chose this book. I'm so excited that she got me this book. I can't even explain. And that book is Winger by Andrew Smith. I have heard phenomenal things about this book from everyone who's ever read it. When I look at this book, I see Neil Patrick Harris. It's Barney. He has a nosebleed. It's about this boy who's 14 years old and he goes to a boarding school and he's younger than the rest of his classmates. And I've heard really sad things about the ending, I think. This kid, this model, does not look 14 years old in the least. But I'll let it slide. My lovely, awesome friend Vilda from V for Vilda, who is just the sweetest person ever, got me a book for Christmas too, and she got me The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon, which is so exciting. This is the first book in a ginormous fantasy series. I've heard some mixed things about this, but I've been wanting to read it since I first heard about it. So I'm so happy that she got me a copy. Thank you so much, Vilda. That is so sweet. I love you very much. And also, another one of my friends got me a Christmas present, and it's not a book, but it is book related, and it is this necklace. I don't know if you can read it, but it says literature is my boyfriend. And it's true, literature is my boyfriend. Hello, Percy Jackson, Etienne St. Clair, Cricket Bell, you know, holla. And finally, the last portion of this huge book haul is my book outlet order from their Boxing Day sale. The whole website was 30% off, so that was exciting. And I love book outlets' prices. I really do. They're incomparable. But I hate their shipping. Their shipping is a complete mess most of the time. My package didn't get shipped until January 8th. And then I didn't get it in until January 14th. So having to wait over half a month for my order to come in was just not a jam. But anyway, let's get to the books. So the first few books I bought from Book Outlet are going to be under the category of I've heard ridiculously good things about these books from book bloggers. So, the first book I got is Hemlock by Kathleen Peacock, and this is the first book in a paranormal series about werewolves. Normally, I'm not into werewolves, but I've heard really awesome things about this trilogy, I think. And so I got it. Yep. The next book I got is Past Perfect by Leila Sales. This is about a girl who works at like one of those historical villages, and her ex-boyfriend is working there too. And then there's also a rival historical village with a cute boy that she ends up liking, probably. I've heard this book is so cute, and I'm always in the mood for cute books. The next book is by the same author. It's called This Song Will Save Your Life. I've heard so many good things about this book, and I don't even care what it's about. I just know that everyone loves it, so I bought it. The next book is Wild Awake by Hilary T. Smith. And I've heard really great things about this book. I know it's a contemporary. I'm all about that contemporary life. Something about having a list to do, but none of those things actually end up happening, and it's just an adventurous contemporary book. It sounds awesome. The next category of books is just going to be called Just Because. I bought these books just because. It's airtight reasoning, I know. The first book I bought is Boundless by Cynthia Hand. This is the third book in the Unearthly trilogy, which is a paranormal trilogy about angels. And the first book is called Unearthly. The second book is called Hallowed. This is the third book, the final one, and it came out quite some time ago. I read the first two books in this trilogy, and I loved them so much. I cried so hard while reading them. I don't know why I didn't pick this one up right away. I do own the first book, Unearthly, in paperback, and what's really depressing is that this book is super shiny and it has texture on it, and this book is not shiny and it has no texture. It was like they put in effort and then they took away all the effort. It's one of those typical nondescript paperbacks, and why? Why'd you go from putting in effort to not putting in effort? This is not cute. But if you don't know, the Unearthly trilogy is about an angel named Clara, and each angel has like their specific mission, and she's confused as to what her mission is. It's her figuring it out. This next book I can't help but laugh at. I don't know why I bought it. I really do not know why I bought this book. But I bought A Dog's Purpose by W. Bruce Cameron. All I know is that it's a really heartwarming look on the relationship between dogs and their owners, and I know everyone who reads it cries, that's a good sign. It's a novel for humans, and I'm like 97% human. So this book is practically for me. Oh, hey! Alice Walker blurbed this book. If you don't remember, Alice Walker wrote The Color Purple. Why did I buy this? I don't know. Ooh, the next book I got is The Shadow Society by Marie Rukowski. Does that name sound familiar to you? If you've been on my channel, it should, because Marie Rukowski wrote this brilliant book, The Winner's Curse. Loved this book. So when I saw this one, I didn't care. I do not care. I still don't care what this book is about. I just know I'm going to have to read it because it's the same author. The next book I picked up is Ruin and Rising by Leigh Bardugo. This is the final book in the Grisha trilogy. The first book is Shadow and Bone, the second one is Siege and Storm, and I've still only read Shadow and Bone. But now I have the complete trilogy and it's gonna look so gorgeous on the shelf. The next book is actually a book I've surprisingly been interested in for a super long time. It's called Z. It's a novel about Zelda Fitzgerald, who was the wife of F. Scott Fitzgerald. This is by Therese Ann Fowler. When I first heard about this book, I thought it was a biography about Zelda, and Zelda is a really fascinating, kind of crazy woman, so I wanted to know more about her, but then I realized that this is actually like a fictionalized account of her and F. Scott Fitzgerald's relationship, which is interesting, not as interesting as a biography about her, but I mean, I'll still read it. Zelda and Francis had a really interesting dynamic going on in their relationship, so I'm sure it's gonna be super interesting. And this book, when I got it, is really dirty, and it's still really dirty, and it makes me really sad. And this final category of books in this book haul is actually the reason why I placed this book outlet order in the first place. It's 3 books, but 2 of these 3 books can actually count as 5 billion books, because they're so freaking long. But yeah, I bought some more Sanderson. Once you start Sanderson, you can't stop, right? I bought The Arithmetist. This is a very unique story about how you can draw things with chalk and your chalk drawings come to life. And it reminds me of that super creepy episode of SpongeBob when SpongeBob had that pencil and he drew himself and, you know, it came to life and it was evil. Remember that? Apparently it has cool illustrations inside and it's Sanderson, so you know it's gonna be good. And now for the most exciting books in this book haul. I got the first 2 books in the Stormlight Archive series, and these books are freaking huge. Are these fantasy books or are these textbooks? Because what is this size? The first book is The Way of Kings, and I actually bought a scratch and dent copy of this, and I was so scared because scratch and dent hardcovers sometimes don't come with dust jackets, and I was like, what am I gonna do if I don't have a dust jacket? I can't just like go to the bookstore and steal a dust jacket to put on my naked book. But luckily it came with a dust jacket, and it's only like a little bit ripped, and that's freaking fantastic. This is the start of an epic fantasy series. It's gonna be like 1 billion books long, and each book is 1 billion pages long, and they're also really heavy. So they're not only great reading material, but they're also great for fitness. I feel like outside of BookTube, these books are what he's most well known for, because in BookTube it seems like he's most well known for the Mistborn trilogy. But yeah, he's been planning the world of this series for years and years, so it's so extensive. He's made up animals, he's made up plants, he's made up religions, he's made up everything ever. And I'm so excited to get to this. I don't know when I will. Maybe not till I'm like 60, and then once I start it, I won't finish it until I'm 93. But yeah, I got it. I'm so excited. I got The Way of Kings. The second book is Words of Radiance, and I think this one is longer. But I mean, once you're past 500,000 pages, the rest don't really matter. They're just both ridiculously long. Oh yeah, and I wanted to get the UK covers of Sanderson books because his US covers are frankly kind of hideous. But from what I can tell, The Way of Kings is like a 2-part book in the UK version. Why would you buy 2 books when you could just buy one? Especially one that was like $4. So there's no question about it. I had to get these. So these are the last books in my book haul, and I guess I'll try and stack all of the books up. But these 2 alone are the weight of a small child, so... Okay, so this is the closest I can get to holding my books, but I still don't have all of them. My Mistborn trilogy is still chilling on my bed. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. Okay. I'm trying to balance like a flamingo. Ah! Aww. Alright, so that's the end of this book haul. Thanks for watching. Goodbye. This was a bad idea. Okay.